welcome to Likable Science here on ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm your host, Ethan Allen. Thanks for joining us today on Likable Science. Today in the studio we have three guests, an unusual crowd here. This is great. We have Ani Phelps, we have Skye Goedert, we've got Elaine Weaver, and they are all have been involved in a Spartan Summer Camp program. Right? Sorry, I lost it there for a moment. In Ebeye, and they've been teaching environmental and marine science, robotics, high-level internet kind of stuff. Very cool. But let me just step back and let's see. Ani and Elaine, you're both at the Coast Guard Academy, right? You're
Yes.
both finishing up seniors in environmental sciences.
Yeah.
And Skye, you just graduated from Whitman College recently in marine science.
Environmental studies and sociology.
Sorry. Okay. Too many people, affiliations and all, but we got it straight here. But you all got involved in this project through a group called Pacific Allies, right? Can you maybe tell us a little bit about Pacific Allies so we have a little context here?
Yeah, sure. So Pacific Allies was started as the Allies program in 2006. And then in 2013, it really morphed into this Pacific Allies program after there was a statement from Admiral that said that climate change was the #1 national security threat that our nation was facing. And basically our internship, Pacific Allies, is a way for next generation leaders to really look at climate change at a new angle as not only a national security threat, but as a way of partnering with these Pacific Island groups, such as the Marshall Islands, which is where we went.
Cool, yeah, and so it's been around for a couple of years. You've actually done it now 2 summers in a row, right?
Yeah.
You both were in it for the first time.
Yes,
All right,
first
excellent,
year.
excellent. So this is great, and the area like Ebeye needs to know about climate change, right, and rising sea level, because Ebeye is a very, very flat, low-lying island, right? The high point on Ebeye, maybe 10 feet above sea level.
Yeah. Maybe not even.
And Ebeye is part of the larger atoll, Kwajalein Atoll, right? Has U.S. military significance, certainly,
Yes.
right? Big military base.
U.S. Army Garrison, Kwajalein Atoll. That's just 4 miles away from Ebeye.
Right. They're both one ring of little connected islands, or almost connected islands.
You could take the ferry from Kwajalein base to Ebeye in just about 20-minute ferry ride.
And indeed, a bunch of people on Ebeye actually work on Kwajalein, right? Have day jobs of various sorts on Kwajalein.
Yeah, about 900 workers from Ebeye go to Kwajalein every day.
Ebeye is an incredibly crowded place, right? It's one of the most densely populated islands in the world. It's what, 1,200, 12,
There are 12,000 to 15,000
people.
living on 80 acres.
Extremely crowded.
Yeah.
Denser than Manhattan.
I think we have the picture of Ebeye here, as a matter of fact. Pop that up for just a second. Yeah, you can see, right? Jam-packed there. A lot of these houses, I gather, homes will have 10, 15, 20, 30 people living in a single little house, basically.
We came across one with 44 people, and
Another was 37 people and 25 children.
Yeah, and as you can see, the island does not have any height to it, any real topography. It's flat, low-lying. Water is a constant issue there. Drinking water is years was always a huge sort of threat there.
It's estimated that by 2035 to 2050, the freshwater aquifer will be completely gone, and that by 2050 to 2060, the entire island will be gone. So.
Right. Yeah. It's most of the Marshall Islands, of course, facing not very different problems than that, right? Maybe a dozen years later, but the whole country has no profit, very much off the water, and it's all narrow, skinny little islands that are all close to the sea. So I know in Majuro they get now with the king tides, you get overwash literally, where from lagoon to ocean side you get water flowing.
Yeah, and in Majuro, they're having problems with even some of their graves have been washed out so that you can see bones sticking out of the ground. And in Ebeye, they've also been having problems with king tides. It's been really affecting their causeway. And some people even experience flooding of their house 6 times in 2 months.
Ooh, okay. So you don't probably have a lot of climate change deniers on Ebeye, right?
Not really.
No, it's one of the things that struck me when I first came out and got out into Micronesia was people there understood it. They were seeing climate change at their front doors, literally, its impact. So what are the big issues now that you were there sort of to work on a number of different issues, right? Things like health and education, disaster risk reduction. So maybe give us a little broader view of that.
Yep, looking into the issues, we saw it as three main groups: the health, education, and the disaster reduction, risk reduction. So the first one, health, there was one hospital on Ebeye, not very clean. It has a lot of, they don't have enough supplies as well. We were able to tour the hospital, talk to the people who work there, talk to one nurse in particular who was pretty upset about the conditions, had us look at the different rooms. And from that, we took that not very clean, not enough supplies. There's a lot of outbreaks of diseases such as typhoid. In addition, diabetes is a huge problem.
It's our #1 cause of death. And as she was saying about typhoid, while we were there, the paramount chief, the Iroj, as they call him, actually contracted dengue and typhoid fever. So, yeah.
Another health concern that we came upon was that there aren't many container ships that actually go out to Ebeye, so that problem with the diabetes that's coming from a poor diet. Their main staple foods are rice, sausage, Spam, bacon, and a lot of processed foods as well. So that's where that poor diet is coming from, and it's really hard to find fresh vegetables there, if not impossible.
Right, because there's no land to grow them.
Right,
The land there is has been salinized, so it's not very productive.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody ships them there.
Yeah, there's 2 container ships per month that come there.
No, it's a sad situation, and of course the area has no real infrastructure to build an economy off of, right? So we've got poverty on top of it, right? Most people don't have a lot of
Yeah, they
material
rank
resources.
186th in the world with about a GDP per capita of like $3,500. And, poverty is a huge problem there, but they don't have any homelessness because their sense of community is really, really strong and people are taken in by their friends and their family. So one person's salary will pay for 20 to 25 people's food.
Amazing. But that's the sense of community and family relationships throughout the island is very, very powerful and very compelling to the people who are up there. They feel very strong ties, very strong needs to support their families, which is really wonderful. But again, there's not a great deal of good infrastructure there. Not very many years ago, when it's very hard to establish good internet connectivity there. It's gotten better in recent years now.
Yeah, there's one telecommunications authority, and while we were there, their generator had a broken part, which it takes a minimum of 3 months to get a part to Ebeye. So, while their generator was down, if they ever lost power, which happens really often, that meant there was no Wi-Fi, no cellular or landline connection. As for the power plant, we experienced for a week and a half, 4 hours on, 4 hours off of power, which is a really common occurrence there.
It's a very different situation than what most Americans live with on a daily basis. So it's great then you're down there trying to help improve these situations. It needs to happen, certainly. The health situation, as you said, is deplorable. The medical care is really awful. I used to travel through that area as part of my work for Krell, and was basically told, you get sick, you get on a plane and come back to Hawaii. You don't go to local healthcare people because that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And education is really, it's on par with the other two, right?
That one's also really tough situation. They don't have enough resources for everyday materials, but then also teachers and even a school bus. They have one school bus that there has been issues with that school bus, and if it doesn't run, there's down the causeway, which is about a 30-minute drive to the high school. So the students who attend that high school, if the school bus is not running, they have to work around that.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of different challenges, a lot of issues that go
Yeah.
far beyond just simple education.
Yeah.
The support of education, the health health issues that can keep kids out of school, can
Yeah.
keep teachers out of school.
Furthermore, there's only about enough seats for 50% of the population to go to school. And while we were there, we actually saw the opening of a brand new high school on Santo, or Third Island. And it was actually the first high school on that island. And so anyone that wanted to go to high school there before would have to find a host family on Ebeye to stay with. That also pushes the population density of Ebeye even more when that population density is already stressed so much. So
Right.
being able to open that school has hopefully will be able to alleviate a little bit of that population density.
And even for the outer islands, the students that are traveling to Ebeye to go to school, it's like they're in a completely different island from where they grew up, so they get really homesick. And so alone having that high school there is going to help tremendously to see them graduate high school.
Yeah, because a lot of them come from these tiny little islands
Right.
with 300 people or 200 people, suddenly being thrust into a city of 12,000 or 15,000 people, all jammed together is a huge culture shock for them, right?
And yeah, but again, that high school doesn't have a principal yet, and it doesn't have teachers yet. So while there is a building, there's not, the people and the workforce that is necessary to maintain that building and maintain that education. So people like World Teach come out, and they're really, really, accepted into the community and really loved in the community for what they do. But we need a lot more teachers and a lot more people being sent out there to be able to sustain that.
Right. Well, this is why the work you're doing is so utterly important, right? Is to bring more resources to bear, bring more well-educated people to bear, help get these kids involved, engaged in learning science, learning technology, learning engineering and math, and really becoming interested in furthering their own education, right?
Yeah, and I really have to give a plug to Perel here, Pacific Resources for Our Education and Learning. They're completely revamping the entire Marshallese system. They're going to be doing a 4-tier system that has a military track, a traditional arts track, a vocational track, and then as well as a college prep track. And they just, they really realize that not everyone in the Marshall Islands has the opportunity to go to college. And that's how the current system is set up right now, is that there's only one track, and it's college prep track. That doesn't really work for a lot of places. So pushing these 4 different tracks will hopefully be able to give students the skills they need to actually give back to their community and be successful in their communities. And then if they decide to migrate to America, they would have those opportunities as well.
Yeah, excellent. And that's so necessary to try to build a system that's responsive. A lot of throughout the Marshalls in Micronesia, there was a sort of westernized model of education that sort of got slapped down on these cultures that really didn't have anything comparable before, and it has not worked well. It's nice to see that change leading us back. So why don't we jump on over then and start, tell us a little more about the Spartan Summer Camp.
So the Spartan Summer Camp, that was created in 2017, so this was its 3rd year for running the summer camp. It's held in Gucci, which is an island that's connected to Ebeye through a causeway. So again, that's only a 40-minute drive away from Ebeye. And the whole purpose of the summer camp was to inspire high school students to learn through STEM and also to open up future educational and career opportunities for them.
Excellent, excellent. It's we just got into this, and I'm just being told we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to jump into it more deeply and dig into it. So I hope you will come back after our break here. We have Ani, Skye, and Elaine here with us talking about Spartan Summer Camp and the Pacific Allies program. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Aloha. I'm Marcia Joyner, inviting you to join us on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock for Cannabis Chronicles, a 10,000-year odyssey where we take a look at cannabis as food, cannabis as medicine, cannabis and religion, and cannabis and dear old Uncle Sam. So please join us to learn all about cannabis. Again, Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. I thank you.
Aloha! My name is Wendy Lowe, and I want you to join me as we take our health back. On my show, all we do is talk about things in everyday life, in Hawaii or abroad. I have guests on board that will just talk about different aspects of health in every way, whether it's medical health, nutritional health, diabetic health, you name it, we'll talk about it. Even financial health. We'll even have some of the Miss Hawaiis on board and all the different topics that I feel will make your health and your lifestyle a lot better. So come join me. I welcome you to take your health back. Mahalo.
Welcome back to Likable Science here on ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm your host, Ethan Allen. With me today in the ThinkTech studios are Ari, Skye, and Elaine. We're talking about Spartan Summer Camp and the Pacific Allies program. We're just getting into sort of the meat of the program here. Maybe go on, Elaine, and tell us a little more about what you were saying about it. Started a couple of years ago, and it's all about STEM. And
Yeah. So a typical day at the summer camp consisted of the students waking up in the morning, and they would attend their academic classes like math, reading, and English. And then in the afternoon, they would have some free time to participate in activities such as marine science and robotics. And additionally, this brings us to the projects that we did with the students. We did a Google Earth Street View of Ebeye, as well as a demographic survey. So that's just kind of a taste of the activities that they did during the summer camp.
So you're really trying to help this Google Earth survey to really help bring Ebeye sort of up into the 21st century. I mean, they weren't really on the Google map, as it were.
Yeah. And Spartan Summer Camp was, created by the Assistant Commissioner of Education. His name's Jelton Anjane, and he's actually been on ThinkTech before. And what his big pushes are is climate change knowledge, STEM research, and then also leadership. So many of these students are going to be future traditional leaders, and then also most likely democratic leaders. So he's pushing for these students to really learn modern ways, but also traditional ways of the Marshallese. They were able to create a traditional hut while we were there. It was really cool to see them, laying out the pandanus leaves and making this thatched house in their traditional ways, and also using modern technologies to make the skeleton of the house as
So
well.
also what Skye was saying, it's pretty cool that we're connecting future leaders of the Marshall Islands with future leaders of military and here in America, so we get to create that partnerships that will hopefully continue.
Yeah, excellent. And it really is all about partnerships, right? I mean, you're doing this in collaboration, not just with PREL, but with the military, but with a lot of the groups around on Ebeye, too. The
Kwajalein Atoll local government actually funded a lot of this, and I really have to put a shout out to Mayor Harata Kabua, and then also my host dad and the city manager Scott Paul, who have been really pushing these programs forward as well.
Excellent, excellent. Why don't we take a look and give our viewers a little more sense about what the program looks like. So maybe we'll start with that next slide there. This is a typical view on.
Yes, this is a typical view on Ebeye. We have the water catchment in the front with the black water catchment. A lot of their water comes from rainwater, and gotta give a shout out to Australian Aid here. You walk down the street and almost like every water catchment you see is from them. So they've been helping out a lot.
Cool. Next photo.
So this is one of the marine science classes with Cara Miller from Hawaii, and with this class and the activities, a major project that they were doing was working with transects and using quadrats to look at the coral counts in the water, so getting exposed to marine biology projects and how to look at the world through a marine science lens.
Yeah.
She's also been on ThinkTech several times if you want to see your own episodes.
Yeah,
with her.
she was on my show last summer after this, and I was showing how amazing a lot of these kids virtually never got in the water. Basically, some of them didn't even know how to swim. It's just amazing when you think about it for people on a small island. But there's a lot that they should learn about the ocean near them, right?
Yeah.
Valuable resource. Cool. Let's move on with the pictures, maybe.
So that was the robotics activity that they could do in the afternoon. And basically, they brought in a robotics teacher. She's from New York. Her name's Amelia. And she came in with these robots. And it was really cool to see the kids build these robots. And then they were able to drive them around. And there was a parent showcase. And they were just driving these things around. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, all the parents were really excited about it. And not only was Amelia teaching this class, but also Natasha. And they were both with the group Ebeye, which is another group pushing these types of programs in the outer islands.
Excellent. No, and so valuable again for these kids to get hands-on experience with that. And so much of I gather what your program was getting kids actively engaged so that they understand that it's not just a textbook they're seeing, but the science is something you do, right?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of this program and the summer camp is also about exposing the kids to some of the possible job opportunities that they can have. So in the past, last year when I went, I did a pre-survey of the summer camp kids and asked them what type of jobs they'd like. A lot of the things we got back had to do with Kwajalein workers or stay-at-home moms. And now we're getting more that want to be marine scientists, want to, you know, go to college and do other things as well. So it's been really cool to see the change in these students.
Excellent. Yeah, you got to change kids' attitudes before their lives will change, right? They've got to want to go ahead and learn more stuff, and that's why what you're doing is so good. So tell me a little bit about this Google Earth Street View. How did you do this? What were you doing?
So the Google Earth Street View, we got to work with a Naval Academy cadet who was able to stay with us for 2 weeks, named Yishinye. And with him, we were able to use a GoPro Fusion 360 camera and take the kids who were interested in this project and walk around Gujigu as well as Ebeye, where most of them live, and capture the footage. So they were able to learn how to capture the footage and then eventually upload the footage themselves to Google. So this was exciting for them. So now if you look up Ebeye, there's all these blue lines, Google Street View, and you can take your own tour.
Oh, excellent. And isn't it great the kids in these isolated, remote areas have now contributed something to the internet and a resource the world can share in.
And the whole point of that really was that now they have a sense of a global community. They're not just on this island in the middle of the Pacific. They know what Google Street View is now, so they can go explore on their own. And then communities from, let's say, Hawaii or other places in the United States, they can see what Ebeye looks like as well.
Right. It's a bit like the GLOBE program, where kids all around the world are uploading weather and climate data and soil samples and forestry data and vegetation data now, and sharing that back and forth and comparing their findings with those of kids 1,000 miles away, 5,000 miles away. So the same kind of idea of really getting kids involved and making use of the technology we have to have everyone learn more about the world.
Yeah, and we left the technology there too so that they can, you know, keep doing it in the years to come and hopefully be able to capture the changes that happen on their island.
Yeah, because changes are happening very fast on some of
Really
those
fast. Even the year I was gone, I went back to the power plant area, which is one of the faster eroding areas, and it had eroded 3 to 4 feet in just the year I was gone. So it's visible and it's changing really fast. Yeah.
Let's see, our next photo should be up, I think.
Oh yes, this was a traditional fishing technique that they were able to practice at the camp. Taking these pendena.
They're actually palm fronds, and as they're woven together, the fish are actually scared of the leaves. So when they put it in the water, they'll put it at the edge of a bay or something, and they'll be able to kind of circle in around the fish and catch the fish.
Cool, excellent. Let's just move on to the next photo then. We've got such great images that they're so evocative here.
Yeah, so that was our Google Earth Street View team.
Okay.
You can't really see it, but that pole sticking up behind, that's what we attach the camera to. So we want that high view so we can see a 360 image of everything that's around us. So the students had this backpack on with the pole and the camera, and they were walking around the streets, and they got some funny looks.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Wonderful. And next picture?
Yeah, so this is us doing the demographic survey, which was created by Dr. Eric Rasmussen, who's a professor at the University of Washington. And really what we were doing is setting up the basic strategies and means for them to, conduct these demographic surveys on their own in the future. So we just collected baseline information for disaster preparedness. And then also we were able to give some houses house addresses, which hasn't existed there in the past.
Oh, amazing. Amazing that, yeah, think about, that lack of infrastructure.
Really, this demographic survey, there's so much room for more work with this. So we're hoping that in the future, this could be expanded on, more houses could be looked at, and it could also include other information, like more health information that could help with Ministry of Health and seeing what's needed there.
Yeah, data collection is always a huge issue throughout the region. And I think we probably have another photo or two.
So this is just another picture of the demographic survey that we conducted. We printed out maps of Ebeye, so in this picture here, they're just dividing up the different locations that the team would go out and survey.
Cool, excellent. And there's maybe one more photo or something.
Yeah, so this is us meeting the U.S. ambassador for the Marshall Islands, and we were able to meet a lot of different people that are willing to help out and willing to sit with us and talk with us and see how we can move this program forward.
Yeah, again, I mean, this was a really collaborative effort, it sounds like. You had to really get some of the local folks, some of the governmental folks, some military people, people from different agencies, all working together. That's really powerful stuff. It's great that you're involved in it. And I think we actually have one photo of maybe a celebration or something that you saw at the very end.
Yeah, it's first birthday party at the royal family's house.
Oh, okay. Like quite the party.
It was so much fun, and it was so amazing to be able to go to the royals' house and sit with them with their birthday party and their celebration, and see that our work and all of the work of the local government and the Spartan Summer Camp is really appreciated by the royals and the rest of the island as well.
Excellent. Well, this has been great. I've learned a whole bunch. I'm sure our viewers have too. Thank you so much, Ani, Skye, and Elaine. I've really enjoyed this, and best of luck to you guys in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll come back next week and join us on another episode of Likable Science here on ThinkTech Hawaii. And until then.